everyone, and welcome back to another podcast with the whole truth. Before I go any further, I just want to apologise to you guys in advance because I'm probably going to be super nasally throughout this video. You might even hear a bit of a sniffle because I've got really bad allergies. But I also have the day off, so I was like, what better to do than to make a podcast for you guys? So about an hour and a half ago, I got a message that came through that said, Yuli went live and she's having a miscarriage again with like the face palm. Now, obviously, the face palm, it suits this all around because number one, this is probably like the 7th miscarriage that she has announced to her Instagram followers over the past year. And people are like, hey, if this is truly not just your period and it is actually a chemical pregnancy every single month, surely you would go and see your doctor to find out what is going on because, you're a mother of 4 kids and your health should be a priority because who's going to be there to look after them if you're not around? You got to look after yourself. The second thing is obviously her and Brett have been broken up for 3 months now. I can't even remember. There was so much drama going on there. So first of all, we had the cheating scandal with Brett where her friend Marissa came forward and was like, hey, he's been messaging this other girl like a year ago, being super friendly with her. And this other girl is like a nemesis of Juliana from what Juliana said. Like they do not get along. They have not got along for like ever. So she was pissed about that. They had a fight. She went on her live. She announced to everybody that she gave Brett a black eye for what he'd done. So that's awesome for their kids to be watching physical fights in their house. Amazing. And then, of course, she then went live after that and was telling everyone how he's super abusive. And, like, the messages that she was reading out, like, if they are from Brett, wow. Like, they were absolutely disgusting. Putrid things that you would not say to someone that you loved. But she did say that when she was pregnant with Cecilia, like he had, was it Cecilia or Zinnia? I can't remember. When she was pregnant with one of the children, he had like dragged her around by the hair, and he had like lead on her chest, like all these things, horrible stuff. So it's kind of surprising that she would ever go back to this. Like if he really has moved out of the house, why would she go back to any of this? I'm actually really embarrassed to admit this, but I didn't think she would be this stupid. Like I understand people and like it's your baby daddy, you have that emotional connection, even though it's been like super toxic. She's told us that he lies, that he steals from her, that he was abusive through all of her pregnancies. But at the same time, it's your baby daddy, so you have that emotional connection. But the thing I have the problem with is having sex with someone unprotected, knowing that they've been cheating on you. And knowing that the last time you broke up, they had another girl that they were talking to and doing God knows what else with, and you're going to go and have sex with them unprotected. Like maybe next time you won't be so lucky. Maybe next time you're going to end up with the clap. Like who wants that? As I said before, I did upload the message that I got onto Instagram, and I just want to read through some of the comments. So before I post the actual video, I'll read through some of the comments because there was a lot of people that obviously watched it. So we had one person said, yeah, she said it was one time they got together and she got pregnant. But like at this point, wouldn't you go see a specialist or something about why you keep miscarrying? Which is true. And then someone replied to that saying, she says it's a sign from God so she doesn't further reproduce with the wrong man. But even so, I'd be concerned as hell and would have been seen by a specialist by maybe the 3rd. And the next one's, if she truly believed that, which I doubt, then why would she even sleep with Brett again? But I agree, even if that's her though, why not just be seen, just to be safe? And then someone said, but I will give you 4 children with the wrong man, God. That's pretty funny. Next person said, again, she went only, 2 months without a miscarriage? Another comment said, on meds and is told not to take him if there's even a chance of pregnancy, tells doctor she's abstinent, laughs about it, gets pregnant anyways, super cool story, let me get some of those slimming gummies, I'm sold. Someone else said, but didn't she just say she also wants another girl low-key? Another person said, maybe stop having unprotected sex. Amen to that. Next one, her live this morning said that her first miscarriage happened after she was around her grandparents who had had the vaccine, and someone said that the shedding from the vaccine can cause a miscarriage. And then someone else replied, people have no common sense. Not even going to get into that discussion because I don't want to talk about vaccine-related shit because it always turns into a shit fight, so pass. Next person said, I wouldn't keep sleeping with the wrong man, let alone end up pregnant by him, but that's just me. So a lot of fair calls. Now, I was having a chat. You probably heard me talk about it before, but Kirsty is like my BFFFFFF on Instagram. And so I chat to her like almost every day. And we were talking about this morning. Let me know what you think about her theory, because she was saying to me that she doesn't believe that they actually ever really broke up. And I'm kind of like thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? You're probably right. I'll find the screenshots from our conversation because, looking at it, it makes a lot of sense with what, she has to try and show that she's this, millionaire. And obviously when you lose your 2 houses as a millionaire, you need some kind of excuse, right? So she said she has 100% been sleeping with Brett the entire time. She said it was all a smoke screen show to hide the fact that she's so broke that she had to rent a house, which I agree, this could definitely be the thing. Because a lot of it doesn't make sense. Like, I understand, you've got 2 houses, you've got one's a rental house, one's your normal house. I do understand selling the one that has a tax lien on it because you've got to pay out that tax lien. But then I'm like, why would you sell the other house? Like, if that was the case, wouldn't you sell the big house that you obviously can't afford and then put that money you got from that house onto the tax lien so that you now own your other house and then live in that house? You know what I mean? All these people think, oh my God, she's so rich, she owns 2 houses. The banks own the house. She doesn't actually own the house. The banks own them and the tax guy because they've got a lien on it. But this is like the biggest thing with her because it works. You want to be flashy. You want to be like, oh, look, I've got so much money. And then, she sells her little house for undervalue, like way undervalued. She has to be kicking herself because the person that bought that turned around and sold it for like $36,000 like a month later. So she could have just held out and got that money, but she fell for it. And then, so she actually owed money on that one. And then so she has to sell the other house. And then what does she do when she sells the other house? She made a bit of money on that other house compared to what she paid for it. Like, sure, she's paying off interest, but I think she would have made maybe like $60K or something. But instead of spending it on what she needs to spend it on, she goes and buys another car, so the Jeep, and then she buys like the dog, and she just blows through all of that money. And then what? Like, then now she's back to like having the same or less income because she's sort of been a bit slack with the selling. It works is going to shit. We all know it's going to go to shit. Everyone's waking up. There's all these like anti-MLM videos everywhere. People cannot be that stupid to buy into a cult that many people hate. That's just the way I look at it anyway. So just continuing our conversation, Kirsty says to me that she thinks that maybe Juliana makes up these elaborate stories about like how Brett drags her around the room and assaults her to try and distract from what's really going on. Now, like, don't get us wrong from where we're coming with this conversation, like where we're coming from, because I don't doubt that there has been some sort of abuse going on, and I don't think that anyone should be like, victim shamed or things like that. But you can't exactly sit there and call yourself a victim when you're doing the exact same things. Because in one breath, she's like, Brad, he did this to me, he did that to me, and he has been assaulting me. And then on the next live, she's like, I found out that he cheated and I gave him a black eye. Like, you have no right to touch him. He has no right to touch you. There is no reason to be assaulting each other, especially when you have children that are present in the household. Like, do not sit there and talk about how much of a victim you are when you're like a victim of your own toxicity. Neither of them should be putting their hands on each other. I'm not saying she deserves anything. I don't think he deserves anything. I think they both deserve to not touch each other and just, leave well enough alone. But you cannot sit there and complain about how you have been assaulted and then on the next live be bragging about how you gave your husband a black eye. And, this isn't that far-fetched of a story. Like, for her to make things up to distract people from what's really going on, because this happens all the time. Like, let's have a look at the tax lien, for example, When she got the tax lien on her house, she hadn't paid her taxes in, 3 years or something, and then she got, a $22,000 tax bill. Now, most people that are, working for themselves or entrepreneurs or whatever you want to call it, like your CEO of your own company, whatever you want to call it, Any of those people are putting tax away as they do it. And like we've talked about it before, like if you're doing OnlyFans, you need to be putting your tax away. Like everybody, like we have for our business, we have a tax account. The second money comes in, we take 30% of that out and it goes into a tax account. And then at the end of the year, we pay our taxes. We get to keep the leftover money. Like that's just how business works, okay? You have to pay your taxes and you have to get ready for them. You can't just spend all your money. And this is the problem with things like It Works, because, you know, the whole idea is to make out that you make all this money and like you got to show your flashy lifestyle, because that's the only way you're going to get people to join up. And then you can't really do that unless you're spending the money on that. So they're spending every cent they make on, you know, making their lifestyles look all lavish. And I got a $5,000 dog and I've got this and I've got that. And, you know, they're just destroying themselves in the end, because look at Juliana, like she's lost 2 houses now. But with that tax bill, you know, people found it online, and when it got sent in, she was like, oh my God, you know, the hate pages are going on about how I have this tax bill. It's not my fault. She's like, someone stole my identity a couple of years ago and now I can't pay my taxes. Now, I don't know how shit works over there, but how can you not pay your taxes without your tax file number? Like, you can pay anyone's fucking bill if you want to, you know? Like, if someone else can pay your tax lien, you should be able to pay your tax lien. And then she was like, you know, it wasn't my fault. Like, my accountant, he'd done it incorrectly. Like, he hadn't lodged a certain form. I don't believe that accountants would mess up like this. And if they did, they have like insurances to fix this. Like that is, I don't know. I don't know if you guys have insurance over here, but over here, if they mess up, like they have an insurance that like, will cover you and get you out of trouble. At least our accountant, that's what he offers. But all I'm saying is, you know, this tax lien, the story just changed completely. Like she could have just come out and said, you know what, I didn't pay my taxes for 3 years and now it's caught up with me. But instead, she was like, you know, he's messed up, and so now I've gotten this bill. I can't lodge my taxes because someone tried to steal my identity. I don't have this PIN. And for what I've been told, like, you get a new PIN every year, so this is a little bit wild. I'm sure there is somewhere you can go where you could show identification and, like, get your tax account back or whatever you have to do to get back. Like, if they can send the bill to the correct person, they should be able to like get you out of it. Like, I just don't see this as a plausible story, but this is what she came up with. So it's always like some big thing to distract from what's actually happening. And like, she slips up all the time. Like, let's have a look at that tax lien for not the tax lien, the other thing, they brought out the coronavirus, whatever that supplement was. I can't think of what it was called now. It's just gone. But you know, she got that payment. I think it was a $1,500 payment for like coronavirus, and you know, you don't qualify for it unless you make under $150,000. And you know, you're making $50,000 a month you claim. So what, you're only working 3 months of the year? Like, how does this work? Because you cannot possibly be making that much money and still get that incentive or whatever it was, supplement. I've just totally forgot what it was called. It's coming back to me. Shit, it's gone. I'm sure someone will comment it below. But it's like a stimulus check, I guess. Anyway, so let me just continue on. And then she said, you know, we're talking about how we think Brad's been there the whole time. And you think about it, you know, Juliana does some shady stuff, but would she really leave all 4 of her children unattended in the house? Because she goes out in her car and she drinks White Claws and she drinks in the Jeep on her live. And, you know, Drew's not looking after the kids because he's been in jail for a few weeks now or something. So who's looking after the children? Like, obviously Brett is at the house and he's staying at the house. Man, she makes some excellent points here. So she also said, if she was this big baller like she claims she is with a 6-figure income, she'd have hired a reliable live-in nanny for the week and she would have flown to Georgia. Absolutely. She wouldn't have begged and pleaded with her deadbeat abusive baby daddy and then drove 9 hours. Who would do that if they had the money to do it differently? Which is true. I mean, I understand if she was taking all of the kids on the trip with her because, you know, even though it is much faster to fly, you're on this plane with a lot of other people and you're confined to like a small amount of space with like 4 active kids. I'd much rather take my car and you could let them out the park, or, you know, you could grab a feed and just take breaks along the way. But this is Juliana and she does not take her kids on holidays with her. It's never going to happen. I don't think it has ever happened. I think they're for like a week They went to like Universal Studios. She bought like the wrong tickets or something. And then they went to the zoo. And that's because everybody on the pages was talking shit about how she does all these trips and never takes the kids anywhere. And that was like when she actually cared if people thought she was a bad mum. Now she doesn't even care. She's like, whatever, I own it. That's just who I am. And then she also said the reason it took her so long to get to Georgia is because she was scraping together money from pity sales to be able to afford it. Nobody can convince me otherwise. And I agree. I reckon that's exactly what it was. It's all about having to save the money to get there. And I feel like all the bread drama is probably just a bit of a show so that she can explain why this millionaire wouldn't just get in her own plane and fly down there to see a friend, But it's so true. Anyways, let's find this video and I will play it and we'll listen to what Juliana has to say. I'm really sorry if there's like a heap of stops in this video because I have been having sneezing fits. And so like I've had to pause it to like regain myself and then start again. So there might be parts where I feel like I'm, just drifting off onto another topic because I've probably forgot what I was already discussing. That's how bad it is. But anyway, here is the video.
So I was like, okay, well, we're going to fully stabilize my moods first. Because I did fuck up this month. I did go and get myself pregnant, and I also didn't tell him that. So I'm going to get in trouble when he gets my blood work. I'm going to get yelled at. Thank you, Megan. I got a little bit of stable mental health and just went and made a bad decision and paid for it. And I didn't tell my doctor. I've already cried about it. It's fine. No, I found out yesterday I'm miscarrying and I started bleeding. So I had to go to the ER and everything was fine and my levels were really high. And then I got blood work done 2 days later and my levels dropped and I was cramping and had excruciating back pain this week to the point where I thought I was dying. And then I started bleeding really bad. And he ordered blood work, so he's going to see my levels. Because he's like, what did I tell you about pregnancy? Before we got off the phone, he was like, what did I tell you about pregnancy? I told him I was abstinent. Which I was at the time, sir. I was at the time. I only did it once. I'm so fertile, it makes me fucking sick. Dude, it sucks. But I already cried enough about it, and I'm really trying not to even think about it. This is like my 8th fucking miscarriage. And what pisses me off is all my blood work was perfect, and my ultrasounds were perfect, and everything, like uterus, cervix, everything's fine. So there's no explanation for it. No, I'm not back on carbs. I made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? I made a mistake. It was one time. But before I got off the phone, he was like, what did I say about pregnancy? And I was like, huh? He's like, you cannot have a baby on these meds. And I'm like, yep, I know. My doctor thinks I'm abstinent, which I am now. But one time I gave in. The White Claw got the best of me, you know what I'm saying? Well, from what I was reading was like, it's not linked to miscarriage, but it can, like if you stay on it your entire pregnancy, it can lead to birth defects. But by the time that like it's confirmed a healthy pregnancy, you can get on meds that are okay. So I just wasn't going to tell him till I knew. But I never fucking make it past 6 or 7 weeks. I don't know what's wrong with my body. And I for sure thought this one was going to stick. Like, for sure thought it was. I know. I literally get pregnant every other month. If I have sex, I get pregnant. And it's like, I feel like God's telling me you just need to be a nun. Because at this point, no, I'm miscarrying. At this point, and don't feel sorry for me because I've been feeling sorry for myself long enough. I don't want you feeling sorry for me. I'm just trying to live life. I feel like God maybe is just like, be a nun. Because every time you spread your legs, you get pregnant. It's not ending well for you. And you don't really choose the greatest of men. So let's stop there. All right. But it's fine. I know, but don't feel sorry for me. That's why I wanted to tell you guys yesterday, but I was trying to meet my month-end goals. And every time I tell you guys something sad when I'm trying to get sales, everyone's like, oh, she wants pity sales. So I was like, I'll be damned. I'm not telling y'all this sad story till tomorrow. Just a crumb. I hate y'all. Why? Because of your BPD and bipolar. They think you won't be a good mom? When someone says one time in the ER, we automatically times that by 10. No, I'm so serious though, y'all. Like, you can ask all my friends. It doesn't make sense. I know. I really, really, really want another baby or two, preferably with the love of my life, wherever he is. But I just don't know if it's in the cards for me because my body just can't get it right anymore.
How about we just focus on the 4 children that we have that we don't supervise, as it is?
I'm sorry, girl. That's what makes it worse is, like, you just don't know why. Like, I don't understand because the mood. Yeah, I feel you. I level out when I'm pregnant. It's weird. Like, when I was pregnant with all my kids, that was the best mentally I ever felt.
Okay, so I'm going to share my theory with you, and it's probably a reach, that's fine, but, like, this is my theory. So today we seen Julia posted a TikTok video, and in that TikTok video, it was a very, very deep nudge for Nate to propose to her, okay? And people are saying, oh, it's just a TikTok video, it doesn't mean anything, and that's fine, but you pair that with the amount of time she has mentioned it over the last 6 months, or even, you know, before then, when she was pregnant with Salem onwards, she has been talking about getting engaged, and like some of the videos, Nate's in the background. But anyway, in this TikTok video, it's basically like my Christmas list, and it's like plaid pants, and there's a woman wearing a ring, and then it's like a hat, woman wearing a ring. So obviously the feature of the video is the engagement ring. And it's a funny, cute little TikTok. I get that. But there have been times where she talks about it, like I think she wanted an engagement ring when she had Salem. And, you know, back then she wasn't pushing as much, but now it's like, dude, if you don't get her that engagement ring, like, I guarantee you by Boxing Day, you are going to be chopped up into little pieces and in the garden as fertilizer, because she wants that ring so badly. But I feel like it's going to be like a planned event because it's gone on for so long. I don't feel like, you know, these are girls that work for It Works, and it's all about having this flashy lifestyle and, you know, showing the perfect family, and they need to be in control of this all the time. So I cannot imagine her allowing Nate to purchase a ring of his choice without her having some input in it. Like, I feel like she'd be like, oh, dragging him into every shop, like, that's the ring I want. This is it. Like, I want this ring, you know. So I feel like it'd be a planned event, and I feel like if it was a planned event, that Juliana would know. And that's why I think that maybe Juliana knows that it is coming for Christmas. I'm sure they're going to have, like, could you imagine Julia actually letting Nate plan their engagement? That would not fit in with the It Work style. You know what I mean? Because, of course, if she's going to get proposed to, she's going to want a photographer there because she needs content for It Works, right? So, you know, and Nate's not going to think, oh, well, I've got to get a content, so I might just have a photographer, you know, take pictures of this. Like, we know how this is going to play out. And I feel like Juliana knows that this is going to go down. This is like her last attempt to try and take some of that spotlight from Julia, before she gets her big ring. And this is what she's come down to now, because she doesn't have anything else. She can't show this perfect husband. I mean, she's just told everyone that he dragged her around the house while she was pregnant by her hair and did this and did that, or he stepped on her chest and she couldn't breathe, or whatever it was that he did, and then he was cheating and stuff. So obviously when she comes on and goes, oh, my man, we're all like, okay, whatever, dickhead. Like, we know what that relationship's really like. So that's not something she can flash. Her kids are all grown. People lose interest in that. Yeah, like, they're all cute, but they're not as cute as a baby. Like, Salem's a brand new baby. She's cute as hell. Everybody loves little tiny babies. That's just how it is. And so this is the last thing that she really can pull attention with. And I feel like maybe that's why this is happening. I don't know. I don't know whether you agree or disagree. I do feel like that Julia will probably get her ring for Christmas. If not, rest in peace, Nate. But that's just kind of what my theory is. But anyways, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. If you think that this is like a legit thing. Like, how do you feel about Juliana going back to Brett after all the things she said? The fact that he's been like with other women and stuff and she's having unprotected sex with him. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack in this video. So let me know what you think. Especially about the Julia and Nate thing. Do you reckon she's going to get that ring by Christmas? I really think she will. But anyways, I will see you guys back on the page at TWT 5.0.